Welcome back. Coach, let me start off with you. Throughout the season, I've heard a theme that I want to dispute tonight, that Dortmund are an inexperienced side because of the players they have. We saw in our short there Matt Hummels, winner of the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich. I mean, he's played in Dortmund before, so he went to Bayern, he's come back. Lots of experience. Marco Reus has a lot of experience, be it not championship experience. He does have some experience. Sebastian Haller is not a greenhorn. I mean, there are pieces in this team that even Rafael Guerrero, 26,
Sule,
Nicolas Sule. I mean, there are pieces in this team that should have been able to galvanize them to a title, because clearly that is, I think this is one of the biggest disappointments in club history for them.
I think it is. Look, without a doubt, there's absolutely no excuse for what they did. They had everything in their hands.
Yep.
Win it. And you see, what made it even more painful is the fact that it was in front of their own supporters. The supporters did everything practically possible to get them beyond the finish line. You had said, I don't know whether look, it has got nothing to do with mentality. I think it is embedded in their DNA. They are perennial bottlers of the.
Is this like Tottenham? Is this like Arsenal? Is it in that mode?
Yeah, that's
where the team just can't seem to rise up to the occasion.
Yes, it's genetics. Maybe when it comes to the genes, the genetic makeup of Dortmund, that is what they are used to. This is what
if I remember correctly, this is not the first time.
This is not the first time they've done this.
You know, I kind of disagree on the perennial bottlers thing.
Come
but
on,
I'll let Coach
for the
finish.
past 10, 11 years, you've not won the league for 10 good years. And you throw this away, you're a perennial bottler. Because look, at the end of the day, look at the football on the day. You go 2-0 down when you needed to win the game.
2-0 down in less than 30 minutes. And they had a chance to equalize.
Where's the character?
And
where's the belief?
17th minute, Sebastian. Is that a game-changing moment? I mean, look, you are up.
He missed the penalty where they were a goal down. In 17 minutes. Or after 17 minutes. Look, if you really wanted this is the sort of thing that my Manchester United will never do. At Old Trafford. No more. Look, it will never be turned upside down. It will happen. Because at the end of the day, the players themselves will have to acknowledge the fact that history beckons. You should be remembered for this moment. You made sure that Bayern Munich will not win the league for the 11th
time.
Consecutive times. That, you see, there were so many factors.
Unacceptable.
There were so many factors that they could have used to boost their intrinsic motivation and get them to step out there without even any coaching. At this level, you don't need it to be coached. There wasn't the need.
The
for
motivation
anybody.
was there.
It was there as a player. Matt Hummels, Sule,
Marco Reus.
Come on, as a player. Reus, you've witnessed Bayern Munich win the league for the past 10 years. You've been there at Dortmund. So, what is it again? What at all do you guys wanted? Look, they are perennial.
The occasion got to them?
I think so, because this starts that they recorded the highest XG in the Bundesliga this season without winning. So their chances were there. They just couldn't take them. It's like on the day they froze. They froze. I think they just froze.
You see what and who they are. Look,
but you see, the reason I disagree is they usually don't even
get. They've done this multiple times.
No, they usually don't even get close. That's the thing.
No, they usually don't get. But anytime they've gotten closer,
there have been occasions where they've led the league at a point, and then they've played bad games on the run and let Bayern surpass them. I think it happened last season.
They had an advantage. I told about 4 games to go. They threw it away. This season, this is the second time they've had this advantage. Remember some few weeks ago, they had an advantage where they needed to win. They drew. Then Bayern took over.
I think this particular Dortmund team doesn't have that, because we've seen previous Dortmund teams win titles. I don't think it's a club thing. I think in recent years...
That was Shinji Kagawa.
The last time they won was when they had Shinji Kagawa, Robert Lewandowski.
That's what I'm saying. This is a recent phenomenon in their club's history. I think previously, before that, the club was able to get things done. I think this group of players, I think ever since Jurgen Klopp left, all the managers who've come have not been able to instill a winning mentality.
And they've changed managers a lot since he left.
I think that's what I want to. I don't want to say it's a club problem because
I'm saying it is a club
because
problem.
the club has been able to win things. I think that the recent managers have struggled.
They will win things.
Yeah.
But truth be told, they should have won it a bit more.
True.
That is why it is a club thing. Because look, even the big men.
And I would tend to agree a little with Coach because, look, we always seem to say that Bayern have created such a big gulf in quality with themselves and the other players. Some way, somehow, Dortmund always managed to make the league competitive, at least up to a certain stage, and then they just drop off, and then Bayern just...
One thing that has always been clear is the fact that almost every season, they tend to lose the 2 games they play against Bayern Munich.
Yes.
True.
So they tend to throw out, they tend to let go of 6 points to Bayern Munich. Yet still, it happened again this season.
They're always in their
points.
Yep.
And you've come back, you've crawled yourself back into the picture. And you've now led the league. On the final day, 2 points ahead of Bayern Munich. You do this. It's within your DNA.
I wonder what it is like in the dressing room after.
That's why I think the managers have let them down because...
Terzic gets fired?
I don't think so. And that's the truth.
The manager for this? Yeah. No, he shouldn't get fired. Look, this one...
And they won't because their aim was, we want top 4 or whatever.
Yeah, go to the champion.
He's done what was expected of him. It's like saying that Arteta should get fired for what he's done. It's a similar thing, just because you were in that. But for me, Dortmund have done this twice. You're right. This season, there was the Bochum game and this game. And remember we said a few weeks ago that we didn't believe they could do it. I was really hoping that would be wrong. I was really hoping.
And then
you were really praying they would prove you wrong.
No, because the league just doesn't look good.
To all those young players who are watching, let me just educate them a bit on the penalty that Ale took. Look, in such moment, it is better to pick a spot and hit it as hard as you can. You don't go and be a bit...
Try to finesse the ball.
Finesse the ball into the back. You don't do that.
That thing works when you have seen the keeper dive. But even the way he played it, there was no
guile
about it.
If he had hit it, even direct, the keeper would dodge to enter the net. You see, when your adrenaline level is up to a certain stage, you don't drastically tend to calm it down under pressure. Let it stay there and act within the moment.
Within that
like embrace it.
Embrace it and act accordingly.
Don't try to be overly calm, overly...
This Bayern team, to go to Bayern, even this Bayern team has not been really convincing this season.
That's exactly why this is a shameful throwaway by Dortmund.
Some of the other seasons, you can see they
were very ruthless.
There's a significant points gap. But this season...
And that's why Dortmund will feel hard done by.
Because the fact is, this season was so poor. Oliver Kahn, CEO, and Hassan Salihamidzic, they've been sacked. They were still sacked.
They still won the league, but they've sacked them.
So it looked like the sacking was going to come regardless of whatever
happened.
And it was just, look, and for me, the fact that they couldn't even, if they had got 1 goal in the first half, I think they would have been able to turn it. And this is where I think the coach will come in. I think some of his changes, he took a bit long to bring on the guys who kind of were changing the game.
These are players who, on any other day, last week we saw Ale scored with cheeky ease. We saw
put him, and that's why I just think today it was the occasion too big for them. You know the whole town.
You know the whole town. They are prepared for their parade. I think they were walking through the town. They felt the pressure of about 1 million people on them, and they just said this.
It's very possible. You know that ground is really loud. It's very colorful.
And to be fair to the fans, after the game, it's not like they booed. They didn't get angry. They told the players, "We are proud of you." Blah 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 blah.
That's very civilized. That's very civilized.
They still told them that we are happy with your efforts. It's okay. We know you did your best. Those things, but media would have thrown a chair.
I would have given it to them good time.
Borussia Dortmund live to fight another day. Bayern Munich will have them coming up in a bit. Let's take a break here. When we come back, we'll get you highlights of that Bayern Munich game. Sadio Mane finally winning some silverware. What does the future hold for him? We'll talk about that when we come back from the break. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Citi TV. Let's get to that Bayern versus Cologne game. And Bayern, on winning this game, ensured that they won their 11th successive Bundesliga title. It's ridiculous at this point. Let's get to the highlights because Borussia Dortmund let it happen. Let's check this out. Look at Bayern Munich celebrating the title like it doesn't happen every other year. I mean, I'm asking if they don't get tired of doing this.
I wouldn't get tired if my team won.
I mean, winning is great.
Yeah, I don't think I'll get tired. Yeah. I think maybe I'd be frustrated if we are winning the league and we're not making progress in the Champions League. That might be frustrating.
But so, I mean, they managed to balance it out most of the time.
Yeah, I think they won the last one in 2020.
Yeah.
So I think maybe if it reaches 2025 and they haven't won, then they'll start getting a bit shaky.
Quick thoughts on Mane, though. What was supposed to be an oasis for his career after a turbulent period at Liverpool, again, has turned into a nightmare overnight for him. First was the injury problems and not really meshing with the group, and then the incident with Sané. Now, we've heard issues. I mean, we've heard Lothar Matthäus, who was in Ghana recently, say that he thinks that Mane's time at Bayern has come to an end. How do you feel about that? You think it's unsalvageable? And if it is, where are possible landing spots for him?
I think every situation is salvageable. I think it depends on the manager's willingness to play the player and the player's ability to take advantage of the chances you are given. I think
you don't think there's been a break with the group itself?
There's definitely a break with the group, but I think if the manager keeps playing you and you keep delivering, I think your teammates will warm up to you eventually. I think sometimes it will take a while for the trust to get back, but the trust can be salvaged. It's not like he's gone in the media and kind of said, these guys are all bums, I can't play with them, they don't know what they are doing. It's not to that level. I think this is a situation that there is. But for Bayern, they've paid a lot of money for him. They are paying him a lot high wages, so they expect a lot more of him. So I think for that reason alone and the investments they've put in, I think they'll be very reluctant to get rid of him so quickly, even though they are not happy with his first season. I think I can understand why they're disappointed. I think they thought he would take them to the next level, and we've not really seen that improvement.
Had a tumultuous season.
I think the part of the problem is that there are other forwards and wingers are not really performing to that higher standard. I think even Sané, they're a bit disappointed with him. Gnabry, he's inconsistent.
They could sell Sané from...
You see, all their forwards are inconsistent. Yeah. To the point that Choupo-Moting was the one who came in and steadied the ship for a while. And Choupo-Moting should be the guy who plays 15 games a season max. That's why he's there. He was there to back up Lewandowski. He wasn't there to become the main man. But he reached a point he was the main man and he was delivering the goals because the other guys were not kind of delivering. So I think Bayern are still trying to figure out who to kind of lean on, and they expected Mane to be that guy. He hasn't delivered, and maybe there's something they are seeing in training we are not seeing, that maybe he's not putting the effort. Maybe they can see that there's some physical decline. I don't know, but I would think that they would want to give it another chance. I think if you look at what they have, the kind of responsibility they want Mane to take, I think one season that he was injured a lot is unfair to judge him on that. I think if the injuries continue next season and his form doesn't pick up, then for sure, if he has a season like he did this season, I think for sure he has to go. I think that's clear enough. But if next season he comes in, we see the Mane we saw at Liverpool at times, the Mane that was Mane to finish second in Ballon d'Or voting, the Mane that won his country the AFCON, if that Mane shows up 70-80% of the time for Bayern, I think they will think that he's worth keeping.
Coach, just to, even delve into what he just said, is Mane still at that Ballon d'Or nominee level? Is he still at that high level where Bayern can expect him to be a team leader? That's if they want to keep him at all, or if you think he should be staying at all.
You see, he's a very good player. No two ways about that. He's an excellent player. What most people are not getting is that the quality of the two leagues has had a toll on him. His injury didn't help the situation. Before Mane to show everybody that he's indeed still at that Ballon d'Or level, then Bayern Munich need to be performing in the Champions League. And at the time they got booted out, he had just come back from an injury situation. So before his injury, he was doing
he was
very
decent,
well. He was very decent in the setup. So he got injured, and we all saw the way the entire Bayern Munich hierarchy responded or reacted when he got injured. They all didn't like it because at that time he was playing very, very well. He came back at a time where he felt that having not been at the World Cup, having recovered quickly, the coach should have given him enough playing time, and the coach was playing him 2 minutes, 5 minutes. So I quite remember there was the story that say he confronted Nagelsmann at the time and said, look, man, I am back. I'm fit. Until I got injured, I was one of your main men. Why are you not playing me?
Yeah.
And I think that didn't go down well, actually, with the hierarchy of Bayern Munich.
And unfortunately, his teammates also didn't like.
Yes, and the teammates also didn't like that. I think, and they said that.
I mean, you can't get injured, come back, and expect to walk back into the team.
Yes, and that was so.
Brought a lot of friction.
Exactly.
And then the Sunday incident also happened.
Also, for the Sunday incident, look, Manny is not a violent guy. Look, what we are not being told
is the real situation that led to that.
Look, I can bet my last pesewa that for him to have done that, not in support of him throwing his hand, no, I don't support that.
But you think
something must have
somebody must have crossed the line?
No, exactly. They did say that it got heated. I think they were frustrated. Look, they thought they wanted to challenge for the Champions League, and City kind of played them off the park in the first leg, and you struggle in the second leg.
And
so
at
they
the
were
time
upset.
In that first leg, there were moments in that game where when they were a goal down, don't forget that they were a goal down when Mane was introduced into the game.
Yeah.
There were two very good balls that Leroy Sané had that he should be passing. But from 30, 35 yards, he was striking that goal, and that didn't go down well.
Poor decision making.
Look, he came back, he apologized. He's apologized to the group. They've accepted. So I agree 100% with what Susu is saying, that it would be very disappointing if they were to let him go because of what happened. Patch up and give him another opportunity. He's on huge salary.
Yep, and there's a new era of Bayern coming. Remember, like we said, Oliver Kahn, Salihamidzic are
They've
gone.
been sacked.
They'll obviously be replaced by more Bayern Munich people.
And whether he leaves or not, should be a decision taken by Thomas Tuchel. If he doesn't think he fits into the game plan, they should put him on the market. And look, and I'm very sure if they were to decide to put him on the market, there'll be lots of shooters.
I'm hearing a lot of Newcastle United in the
Why not?
I think right now Newcastle are their team. Everybody links the top players.
It'll be a big upgrade on everybody they have.
They're a Champions League team now, and we all know that they have more money than anyone else.
Yeah.
So I think everyone wants to throw players to Newcastle, but whether they're interested in those players is a different thing. But I understand. And I just want to say something. I feel like a lot of players are in similar situations to Mane, in the sense that you might have some issues with your club. There's a new manager. You'll be surprised.
Lukaku's one of them.
Lukaku's a good example. You'll be surprised that the new manager, he will say, look, let's put a pass in the past.
I'm about to have pre-season.
And the players will perform. Because I think if you are looking at some of these teams, you paid a lot of money for certain players. You can't be quick to get rid of them because of a season that has gone wrong.
At the end of the day, nobody may even pay over £30 million for him.
Yep.
You'll be forced to loan him and pay part of his salary.
Yeah.
So you better keep him because he's that good.
A lot of decisions to be made.